Today on MBC Connect, I'll sit down with Tamara Siragusa and Dr. Jim Lidstone of the Bicycle Club of Milledgeville to learn a little bit more about the April Fool's Ride and our application for becoming a bicycle-friendly community. Thank you for joining us for MBC Connect. I'm the host, April Bragg, and we're excited to have you with us today. Today, as my guest, I have Tamara Siragusa with the Bicycle Club of Milledgeville. Tamara, welcome to the show.
Thank you, April. Thanks so much for having us out today.
Absolutely. Well, Tamara will be joining us speaking about the Bicycle Club and their upcoming programs. Tell us a little bit about the membership of the Bicycle Club and what you guys have going on.
Okay, well, we have some 50-odd members here in the Middle Georgia area as well as the Atlanta area. We've got 350 on our group Facebook page that are very interactive, and we work with advocacy, safety, and community involvement in getting more people riding bicycles more often.
Yeah, well, and I think that's so important. I know that you partner with Live Healthy Baldwin and other organizations to really promote that that active, healthy lifestyle qualities, which I think are so important, and those are vital signs of a healthy community. So we appreciate the work that you do. Tell us about, you mentioned some of the advocacy things that you do. What are some of the programs that you guys support and have going on throughout the year?
Well, right now we're working on a bicycle-friendly designation program, which will help immensely with economic development impact here in the area. We also work with the schools. We'll be participating in a bicycle rodeo for Eagle Ridge sometime in April. I think it's the 26th, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But so we do reach out into the school systems and try to promote safety, awareness, and bicycling as a healthy lifestyle alternative for the students as well as for their family members.
Right. Well, and you guys have one of your annual events right around the corner, coming up the end of next month. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this will be the 8th annual April Fool's Ride. It is the fundraiser for the Bicycling Club, the only one we have for our club during the year, and it helps raise money for the advocacy programs and the signage programs throughout the community. And this year we're very excited to be partnering with the Milledgeville Baldwin Chamber.
Yes, and we're excited to partner with you as well.
It's going to be a great event. The participation picks up more and more every year. This year we're expecting around 200 people to show up, cyclists as well as their families. So we have 5 different ride segments, the longest one being 73 miles and the shortest one being a 5-mile family fun ride, which is actually a tour of the historic Central State Hospital campus.
Okay, so the ride will take place at Central State.
Yes, it will.
What are the times? Is this an all-day, assuming with a 73-mile ride, I'm assuming this is an all-day sort of affair?
It does become something like that. The registration starts at 8, and the first ride, the longest ride of 73 miles, will take off at 9 at the Central State Hospital Grove. But then the last ride, the family fun ride, will take place about 9:45. So we lead in waves for the more serious riders to get the head start and get out on the road.
Right.
And then we'll have a barbecue lunch for them. We have breakfast in the morning as well. And usually about 4 o'clock is when the last ones come in.
Gotcha. Okay, so lots of activities going on, sort of an experience for the whole family to enjoy and being part of that. And I know that, you know, we at the Chamber are very excited to be partnering with you, and I think that's a unique aspect of the program and what y'all do as a way not only to get other participation as far as, you know, sponsors and registrants, but also even in your own fundraiser, you partner with another nonprofit organization to help give back and get them involved and engaged. So talk a little bit about what that partnership looks like, because you partner with several different organizations over the years.
We do. For the Deep Roots Ride, which is our October event that's in conjunction with the Deep Roots Festival here in Milledgeville, we choose 2 local charities, and in the past they have been the Coney River Greenway Authority as well as Georgia Cancer Support. So the funds that we raise are divided equally among them, all of them, 100%.
Yeah, well, and I think it's a great opportunity for people who may not be familiar with your mission and exactly what the Bicycle Club does, to have an opportunity to go out as that partnering organization and volunteer and learn more about your organization, because I can only imagine that it helps increase your membership at the end, or at least creates an awareness with people about what you have going on and ways that they can have a more active and healthy lifestyle themselves, as well as exercising safety in the process.
Exactly. It is great for membership promotion. There are so many activities that the group performs. There are rides throughout the month scheduled for members as well as non-members. Anybody can come out and join us. But we do work with advocacy efforts, educational efforts. The bike club maintains the trails of Selma, Irwin, and Bartram Forest, and really does everything they can to get people out on bikes. More bikes.
Well, tell us a little bit about membership, how one would become a member of the Bicycle Club and get involved with you guys. It's actually a very affordable investment.
It is. And the good thing about it is members get discounts on our big ride events.
Okay.
So every level, there's an individual level, a student level, family level, and there's a $10 discount for every one of the events. So the membership really, you get money back in the long run for being a member, and people see the value of it.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, I know you mentioned earlier in the show about working on a bicycle-friendly designation. Tell me just a little bit about the Bicycle Club's involvement in that before we bring on Dr. Lidstone.
Okay. Well, we have been doing some research about the program as a statewide endeavor. The city of Roswell has received that designation, and in that process, they have been impacted by millions of dollars of economic development from people coming in to ride because the areas have the correct street programs, the correct signage, the awareness, and it's just a huge opportunity for the community to have that sort of person coming in to take advantage of, more riders.
Right. Well, it sounds like an exciting opportunity. The Chamber is always happy to hear anything that positively affects economic development. And as you and I both have been discussing, that healthy, active, vibrant community is what draws industries here. It keeps employers happy and employees healthy in the workplace. So when we come back, I will be joined by Dr. Jim Lidstone, who is the director of Live Healthy Baldwin and also the vice president of the Bicycle Club of Milledgeville, to tell us a little bit more about the application process and the benefits of becoming a bicycle-friendly community. Stay with us.
Get your ass out. You're not sitting here.
Yes, I am.
Move! Give it to him hard!
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why are you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh,
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won.
What's your reaction? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
Little tadpoles, frogs, this is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Welcome back. We're here with Dr. Jim Lidstone of Live Healthy Baldwin and the Bicycle Club of Milledgeville. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you, April. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, well, as Tamara stated in the earlier segment, we are in the process, or the Bicycle Club is in the throes of the bicycle-friendly community designation process, and I understand y'all just completed an application for that. But let's talk a little bit about some of the work that was done leading up to this that got us to the point where we were ready to apply for such a prestigious designation.
Well, we've been working at it for quite a while.
Yes.
When I went into the League of American Bicyclists website and looked at the applications, we actually started an application back in 2008.
Really?
When we first started thinking about, Live Healthy Baldwin. Hadn't even applied for the grant at that time, but thinking about what are some things that we could do to encourage a more active lifestyle in the community. So, becoming bicycle friendly was something that was on our radar screen way back in 2008, and we have several iterations of an application going, but we didn't feel like we were ready until this year when we had some things fall into place. So.
Okay, well, let's talk about those things that fell into place. I know the passing of the Complete Streets policy was certainly something, and others. Share with us kind of what those stepping stones have been over the last year.
Right, well, the Complete Streets policy was initiated by the Bike Club, and of course Live Healthy Baldwin played a little bit of a part in that. And then of course it went to the Partners for Progress Transportation Committee. From the Transportation Committee, it went to the full Chamber Board, and then the Chamber Board made some recommendations. We did a little tweaking to it, and you sent it on to the mayor and the city manager with a letter of support. And so from there, the mayor established a Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee to make some additional modifications to the policy and to propose it to City Council. So it's gone through a lot of different steps and iterations, but I think that's the right way to do it. And so as I look back on that, I'm pleased that we did follow that process, and ultimately City Council passed it on May the 28th of 2013. And so now we need to take the next step, and that's to develop an implementation plan. We got some feedback recently from the Smart Growth America, which was formerly the National Complete Streets Coalition. And there were 80 communities last year that passed a Complete Streets policy. We were right in the middle in terms of how they kind of graded our policy, and so we had a score of close to 50, and the highest was, I think, 92, Indianapolis, Indiana. The lowest was a community in Minnesota with about a 13.6.
Wow. And
so I'm pleased with that, because we would have had a much higher score had we had an implementation plan, which the Pedestrian Advisory Committee is working on right now, and we'll have something hopefully to the city soon for them to take a look at.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about what Complete Streets actually means. I know it's something that you and I both have had a lot of involvement in over the last several years, but share with our viewers what that actually means to be a complete street, to have a Complete Streets policy in place.
Right. Well, for the most part, we design our roads for vehicles, cars and trucks. We want to get the cars and trucks through as quickly as possible with as little barriers as they can. Keep that commerce moving. Complete Streets just says that when we design or redesign our roads, that we're going to take into account all users of the road. So that's individuals who are walking, individuals who are on bicycle, individuals who are in a wheelchair, people who are hearing impaired, sight impaired, emergency transportation. In addition to all of the cars and trucks, we feel like they can coexist in a community without adversely affecting the others. So that's basically what it's about, is just making making the roadways in a downtown area more user-friendly for everyone.
Well, and I think it really is more of a holistic approach to how we move forward, especially as you had mentioned in one of the examples, when we are resurfacing roads or looking at, a streetscape and needing to widen or change parking, things like that, making sure that we are considering all users. And I know one of the things that, is certainly affected by that is getting cyclists on the road and off the sidewalks, as we've seen, in years past. But that trend is finally changing to where you do see more of the cyclists on the road where they belong. So that is definitely a step in the right direction. Tell us a little bit about what this application process entailed, and maybe your prediction on how we'll fare coming out of this.
Well, I remember when I first came here and we started looking at that, somebody told me, well, all you have to do is get the mayor to sign a proclamation and you'll become a bike-friendly community.
If only it was that easy.
If only it was that easy. The application is 21 pages long, and a lot of it is, you know, just yes, no, do you have this or don't you have this? And so you have to expand on that.
Right.
So you don't want to just say, no, we don't have this, and just leave that hanging out there. So with the help of, you know, the bike club and the Oconee River Greenway and the chamber and all of our different partners, you know, we collaborated on a narrative to go along with the application. And so the narrative expounded on the different areas of the application, which are engineering, the 5 E's, engineering, encouragement, education, enforcement, and evaluation and planning. And so that narrative document turned into 25 pages.
Oh, wow. To supplement the 21-page
To supplement the 21-page application. But, and then, of course, there was the complete street policy and the second draft of the implementation plan. You know, we uploaded that as well. But in terms of how we'll fare, you know, I feel really, really good about some of the areas, particularly education and events and things like that. I mean, we just knocked it out of the park on those things. We've got some work to do with enforcement. A lot of our engineering is basically on paper right now. And so if I had to guess, I would say that we would get an honorable mention designation this time, and then you know, have an opportunity to submit later on and be able to show the progress that we've made from this application point to the next one, and then we'll be in good standing for a bronze designation.
Well, and I think that's so important that you mentioned that about an honorable mention, and that, you know, so many times people will, you know, see that organizations have applied for grants and then, you know, either receive them or not, but understanding that it really is a process, and that, you know, it's worthwhile to go through these steps to evaluate what we have in place as a community. It helps us to sharpen those areas that aren't quite ready, and gives us that outside perspective, if you will, or a national body that's looking at our community through a very objective lens with no local affiliations really, and sharing with us some best practices, some things that we can do and implement in order to achieve that designation. So very quickly, if you'll just share with me, Tamara had mentioned earlier about the economic development implications of becoming bike friendly. What are some of the key things to you that just really stand out as far as what being bike friendly really means for a community?
Well, you know, to me it's about quality of life, and so if you are looking to relocate to a community, if you're looking to start a business in a community, you know, you want that quality of life to be there. And that's the #1 thing that people say when they're looking at a community, and they're looking for things like parks, they're looking for things like water, which we have, they're looking for things like good schools, they're looking for what I call first-class amenities like trails, off-road trails,
outdoor recreation, cultural opportunities.
You know, as I shared at the Eggs and Issues thing, you know, when you look at the CNN Money Top 100 communities, and you look at the pictures that they use to portray their community, it's all about, you know, farmers markets and outdoor pavilions and history, which we have, and water, recreation, and again, trails and parks and things like that. That's what people are looking for in order to come to a community. And I think that it behooves us to be looking in that direction and trying to move in that direction. We've got some great things in place. You know, we've got the Greenway, we've got a start on the Fishing Creek Community Trail.
We have the natural assets.
We do. We have the natural assets that you can't create in another community. You know, so we need to take advantage of those, and I think we need to market ourselves as a community that cares about the health of its citizens, because that's the #1 cost to an employer is health care. Okay, and so. You know, we're not there yet, but we're certainly a lot further along than a lot of communities in terms of the things that we've been doing. So we can point to those things, and we can use that as a marketing tool to to convince people that Milledgeville is the place to be.
Yeah, well, we think it is. And thank you so much for being with us. Jim, thank you for being our guest, and Tamara, for the information you've shared. For more information about the Bicycle Club, Live Healthy Baldwin, and other things, you can check out milledgevillega.com, and we'll provide a whole listing of links and information you can get in contact with. Thanks for joining us.